We will call the DRC meeting to order October 1st. We'll start with roll call. Community Development is present. Police.
Andrew King.
Dale Smith.
Public Works. Dale Smith is present. Fire.
Jeremy Holderfield.
Building.
John Hanson.
All right. We have 4 special events and 1 walk-on special event this morning, and Lexi from Recreation is here. And we'll get started on the special events. The first one is Strata Entertainment Pudding Place Festival.
This event is Pudding Place Festival on East Station Street on Friday, November 7th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is a street festival. They are requesting for the road to be closed on East Station Street from South Park Avenue to the central end right in front of True Coffee, and then 6th Street will remain open. They're expecting about 150 people. They will be hiring off duty for the road closure. They're going to set up a stage, vendor tents. These will be set up in the grass. They did submit a new permit that I can include in an email. And then they will have metal barricades as well. Let me see. They will have a lane down the middle for FD to have access, and their setup again has adjusted from this map. It's now going to be off on the side, and then using that grassy area where those trees are in this map. They'll be utilizing public parking on 5th Street and Central and Station. Their setup will begin at 3 p.m. and breakdown will start at 9:15 p.m.
All right. Sounds like we got the directions to the festival. Any questions or comments for Lexi?
Lexi, will there be they're going to submit a new map for this?
They have submitted a new map.
Yeah.
We just got it after it was already on the agenda.
Okay. And that'll be part of what you normally send out to
Yep.
myself and Sergeant Colley.
All right. Any additional questions? All right. Community Development has nothing further. Police, anything additional?
Nothing additional.
Public Works.
No comments.
Fire.
So the new map that is coming for this is a shutdown of Station Street, so I'm understanding this correct?
Yes.
Are we gonna, I just have concerns to make sure we're gonna go through this completely like we did on 5th Street with their closure. So I see it says lane down middle for emergency vehicles. I'm gonna need some type of directions on what we're looking at. Like, what does that mean? Like, how much is it gonna be open, spacing, what our boundaries are and everything. I really need to go and have a meeting and walk it. I'd be more comfortable knowing that. That way we're dealing with what structures we have access to and ability to get in and out of there. So
Okay. Yeah, the updated map shows it a little bit better, but we can set up a meeting and walk through with the organizer.
I would prefer that just
Yeah.
so we're all on the same page. I don't want to verbally make an agreement without physically being there to see it and understand what our dynamics are.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll set it up.
Building.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Lexi, can you include me on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Next one, Apopka Altamont Springs VFW Marine Corps celebration.
This is a VFW event at the Apopka Community Center for the United States Marine Corps 250th birthday celebration. It'll be on Monday, November 10th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It is at the Apopka Community Center with an expected attendance of 150. They will be hiring off duty for the alcohol. Their setup is very simple: tables, chairs, and the existing stage in the community center. This event is not open to the public. It is invite only. They will be serving alcohol, and they will be using the VFW parking lot and the 5th Street parking lot. Their setup will begin at 4 p.m. and breakdown will start at 10 p.m.
Any questions on this one? Community Development has nothing further. Police.
No comments?
Public Works.
No comments.
Fire.
No comments. Thank you.
Building.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
All right. The next one, Pines of Wakaiba HOA Holiday Fest.
Right, so this is another street festival for the Pines of Wakaiba HOA. It is a holiday fest on Saturday, December 6th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The location of the event will be Wakaiba Pines Boulevard between Falcons Crest Boulevard and Wyndham Pine Drive. They're expecting about 150 people. They are aware that they have to hire off duty for the road closure. They will have vendor tents set up 10 by 10 and smaller. That'll be set up in the grass and the food trucks along the side of the road. Residents that are in the neighborhood past Falcons Crest, they can exit the neighborhood through Welch. And then the residents on the Wyndham Pine Drive side, they can exit the neighborhood still through Rock Springs with the road closure. There won't be any alcohol. There's parking is on the side of the street and in the grass, and their setup will begin at 9:30 a.m. and breakdown will end by 3 p.m. Also, this map makes it look like that they're blocking houses, but this is the behind the houses, and there's a brick road, so they're not blocking any houses along the Wakaiwa Pines Boulevard.
All right, any questions?
Were they providing the signage and direction for that, for the detour out the back, or were they expecting the police to do that?
They did not say, so we can find out
Just
from them.
clarify. Thank you.
Any additional questions? All right, community development has nothing further. Police.
No further comments.
Okay. Public Works.
No comments.
All right. Fire.
Just so I understand on the road closure aspect of it, we will have access to the front side from Rock Springs, and then the back side will be coming from Welch Road.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, okay, thank you.
Building.
Nothing.
All
Thanks.
right. The next one is Cox Media Group K92.3 F 4th Annual Jingle Jam.
Right, so this is a returning event with Cox Media Group. Their event is Jingle Jam on Sunday, December 7th from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. This is a ticketed concert performance at the Apopka Amphitheater. They're expecting about 5,000 people. They will be hiring a private security company, Gator Guards, as well as off-duty. There will be alcohol. Their vendor tents include 10 by 40, 10 by 30, 20 by 40, and 10 by 10, and they will get the required tent permits for those. They're utilizing all three entrances to get guests in. And this is very similar to last year, except that the hours are a little bit longer and it's more of a festival style. They'll be using Barbecue Row and the surrounding complex parking. Their setup will begin the day prior and end after the event on the 7th. And the promoter will provide a full production schedule prior to the event, so we have all those dates and times.
Any questions on this one?
Just want to confirm with that, and Sergeant Cobb may have the answer, but their security is unarmed, correct?
Unarmed, correct.
Thank you.
All right. Community development has nothing. Police.
Nothing further.
Public Works.
No comments.
Fire.
No comments, thank you.
Building.
Nothing. Thanks.
And there's one walk-on. It's the Apopka High School, Wakaiwa High School Band Showcase.
Right, so this is a City of Apopka Harvest Sounds Band Showcase on October 4th, 2025 from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on 5th Street. The requested road closure is from 6 to 10 p.m. This is a event to support the Apopka High School and Wakaiwa Band for their performances in London and in New Orleans. They're working on an updated map, but the road closure is going to be from, let me pull it up. It's going to be right in between right past Propagate where their deck is. That's where it's going to start, and then it'll go right past Halls.
All right.
So it leaves those businesses next to Propagate, that parking open for them.
Any questions on this one? Hearing none, community development has nothing further. Police.
No comments.
Public Works.
No comments.
Fire.
No comments, thank you.
Building.
I don't have anything. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Lexi.
Yep.
Okay. Next item is a future land use and a rezoning for 606 South Hawthorne, and June Son is the project manager.
Good morning. This is Junson Planner. This is the property located at 606 South Hawthorne Avenue's future land use and rezoning request. The applicant has requested a change of future land use and rezoning. The total size of the property is 7.68 acres. The property is located right next to the mixed-use downtown area with the residential uses. Current future land use is mixed use and commercial. Requested future land use is industrial. Current zoning is mixed use East Shore Gateway, and requested zoning is light industrial. The property on the south is owned by the same owner, and it is currently has a future land use and light industrial zoning. So the current use of the property is industrial warehouse, and per the OCPA, the existing building of warehouse was built in 1977, so it is grandfathered in use, and that is not permitted use with current code. Um, so the change of future land use and rezoning will allow the current use to be permitted and consistent with the properties on the south owned by the same owner. However, it will also allow the properties for um, able to able to develop more industrial development. So since the property is adjacent to residential uses, properties in mixed-use downtown area, planning has asked any intention of improvement and requested any conceptual development plan, and also the traffic impact analysis study has been requested by the transportation coordinator. Applicant is available for any comments.
All right, is the applicant in attendance this morning?
Good morning. Can I just give them some exhibits just so I can see?
Good morning.
This is the site that we are rezoning. This is one parcel that my client owns. He owns this and this and this. So we're only rezoning portion of it.
If you could just, when you hand them out, come back and so that way we can get it on the record. If you could explain it on the microphone.
Thanks, sir.
Good morning. My name is John Abion. I'm with Thomas and Hutton. We're the engineers representing the owner. With me is also the owner here, Rolando. This is a family business, just to kind of let you know this is not a developer coming into this market. They own this property for a long time. And actually, what I showed you, it shows 3 parcels, and he owns all of them. Now, if you look at what we have, we're only rezoning 5 acres within a 7-acre parcel that my client owns. Okay. So what we have right now, there is an industrial zoning on portion of that parcel, and there is industrial zoning south of the parcel, which basically we're not really making any change or introducing any new zoning. What we're doing is we're trying to be consistent with our zoning for this particular parcel. We had a community meeting, and really we didn't have anybody except one person that showed up, and we explained to her what we're doing, and she was satisfied. She didn't have any issues with what we're doing. So basically, really, all we're doing is making the parcel consistent. So what we're asking you today, if possible, because the comment requests that we do a traffic impact analysis, and that's going to cost my client money that really is not necessarily. We can provide some analysis as engineers, but not necessarily go to a traffic engineer and get a TIA. And the reason why I'm saying that is currently the site is zoned mixed use ES. Okay. And according to your code, this allows basically, we can right now today, if we rezone, if we don't rezone, this allows us to have a range of uses, including multifamily, retail, light industrial, gas station, and large-scale retailers. So in essence, what we do today is way more in terms of traffic of what we're proposing. Now, one question was asked by staff, which is a legitimate question, is what do you have in mind? Because right now we don't really have any plan. They don't have anybody interested in leasing from them. They're not trying to sell, by the way. They're thinking what they want to do is something to the Cooper Industrial Park across from Bradshaw, if you're familiar with it. It's more like a flex space, smaller building, 15,000 square feet to 20,000 square foot building. And if there is a business that they want to lease from them, this is for them for the future, for their kids. So this is not something that they're going to flip. So what we're asking you today is The current use has a higher traffic generation than what we're proposing. We are willing to provide staff with, from a civil engineer based on the ITE manual to kind of show a comparison what we can do today and what we can do in the future instead of having to have a full-blown TIA study. Beyond that, we don't have really any question. We're just asking you to kind of approve us with this condition. And really, we don't want to come back to DRC. There's really nothing to kind of discuss except this one item. So we're just asking you if you're in agreement with our request, so we can do that analysis and comparison without having to do a full-blown TIA and not have to come back to DRC, because really you have our request. It's a straightforward request. So with that, we thank you, and we're here for any question. I don't know, Rolando, you want to say something as the owner? Or?
We operate our business. We do Christmas decorations, so we operate half of the property. Currently, we're not planning on going anywhere. Like you said, we just want to be consistent with our zoning, just in case ever in the future we'd like to add some more industrial space there. But pretty much we operate half of the property there, and we don't really plan on going anywhere.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant in regards to what they had brought up in relation? I know Bill is here for transportation. I don't know if you want to come up and talk about the comment or the reasoning for the comment.
Excuse me, Smell. I couldn't hear everything they were talking about. So, I understand you have traffic, existing business there.
Well, what we're saying is the current zoning allows us to put like much higher uses than what we're proposing. Right. So we're willing just to give you from the IPE and a comparison of what he can do right now under current uses versus the light industrial, and not go through a TIA and have a traffic engineer. Because right now, based on the current zoning, we have way more traffic than what we're proposing. So we can do a comparison for you and send it to you then.
Well,
Bill, if you could, yeah.
As we know, the requirement for the TIA is over 400 trips a day, regardless of the zoning on the property. If there were an existing use on the property, they could take into account that traffic and subtract it to whatever new business they put on. And if that drops it below the 400 daily trips, then we could go that way. But in our land development code, it's the 400 daily trips. It triggers the TIA, and so we'd have to follow that as well.
So in other words, it's a code requirement, regardless for the rezone.
Yeah.
If it's code requirement, it's a code requirement.
We're in agreement with the 400 trips. We'll do that. My point is, we will do the existing analysis for the current zoning. If we don't really rezone, we're going to have more than 400 trips. So what we're saying is the comparison is, we'll do the comparison. Say, hey, today, we're going to have, let's say, we can generate 600 trips per day. With what we're proposing, it may be 401 just for discussion purposes. But the comparison is, let's say we don't do anything. We leave today, and then my client goes and put a multifamily out there, which he can't, according to the code. So reality is, under today's zoning, he has more traffic than what we're proposing. So we're willing to do the comparison for the 400 trips, but we're asking you, let's do it for what we have now and then what we have in the future. If we come in under 400 trips, it's a done deal. It's not a big deal, but we're just asking, we can work with staff on that just to show them that whatever we're proposing is not making it any worse. And actually, the way we're doing it, it's going to combine all the traffic, and the majority is going to go to Bradshaw, to the main road. And so we believe with what we're proposing is much better, but under current conditions, we can do the traffic and show you that we have more than 400 in today's zoning, under today's zoning. So that's all we're asking. We'll do the comparison. We show staff that even if we do the comparison, we're going to still be less than what we are proposing and what we're asking.
The traffic that he's referring to that is allowed under the zoning is not on the streets now. So that's not being counted in our traffic counts or any other TIAs that may be done in the area. So we won't know how much traffic is going on the roadways, the intersections, until he determines what use he's going to use and how much traffic that's going to generate. Then that goes on to the roads, and then we can compare against the traffic out there. But just because the zoning allows a certain amount, the traffic that could be generated by that is not being counted out on the roadway now. Does that make sense?
So really, I guess what we're looking at is we need to know what his existing traffic counts are, not what he's allowed under his zoning.
Right. If there's a use on the property now that has generated trips, those can be deducted during the traffic study if the traffic study is needed. And if that falls, if the trips, the net new trips falls under the 400 daily trips, then he wouldn't need to do the TIA. But we won't know that until we know what the use is going to be and how much trips that's going to generate.
Looks like June has something to add too.
Just want to add to that. I'm not exactly. I have double check, but I believe traffic impact analysis study is also required by a comprehensive plan. But this is something I'm not 100% sure, so I'll double check and then update it.
Okay. All right. Any more discussion on the TIA requirement or?
I guess we'll find out more when June gets through, checking on that.
Yeah, so he'll check into that and get back with the applicant, and we'll make the DRC know. We'll let the DRC know as well. With that, any further questions or comments? Okay, community development has nothing further. Police,
No comments.
public works,
No additional
fire,
comments.
No comments as of now.
building.
I don't have anything. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay, next item, Palucci Acres PD, second submittal. I'm the project manager. There were comments that were generated that were given to the applicant from the DRC. I know the applicant's here in attendance. Is there anything you would like to discuss in regards to the comments?
Good morning, Elisa Sowell, 300 South Orange Avenue, Orlando, Florida, 32801. We have received all of the comments and are preparing to schedule a meeting with the planning department to discuss the comments. We don't have anything at the moment.
Yeah, and planning still has a number of comments that need to be worked out on the project as well. Any questions for the applicant on this? All right. Community development has nothing further. Police,
No comments.
public works,
No comments.
fire,
No comments, thank you.
and building.
I don't have
I almost
anything.
called you
Thanks.
rezoning. Rezoning's on my mind. Okay. Next item, Oaks at Kelly Park plat, second submittal. Amir is the project manager.
Good morning, everyone. So this is a plat just for the Oaks at Kelly Park subdivision. It's the phase 4. It's the final plat, and it consists of 50 lots. The zoning for the property is a KPI neighborhood, and future land use is mixed use. Staff and applicant are available for further comments and questions.
All right, is the applicant in attendance? Any items for the DRC to be aware of? All right. Any questions for the applicant or Amir?
I have a couple of comments.
Okay.
Looking at it in the tract that is an open tract that has their stormwater pond, what I've noticed on the last 2 or 3 plats, there has been some language that has allowed Public Works to go in under an emergency to go in and enter onto the property and make any repairs it needs to, keep the subdivision from flooding, life safety, and things like that. So I'd like to have that added to the plat, and then also an easement, through this area to sort of define what our legal access is to the pond and then across the pond. Like I said, I've seen that on the last 2 or 3 plats. It hasn't been on all the plats, but it's starting to be something that we need to have when there is an emergency.
All right, and the applicant put that on the plat, and we'll go from there.
And what I can do is I was looking this morning to try to find the last plat that had that language, and I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Okay, perfect. I just want to add that the plats are no longer statutorily required to go to Planning Commission, City Council for approval. It's an administrative approval. With that, any questions or comments additionally? All right, Community Development has nothing further. Police,
No comments.
Public Works,
No further comments.
Fire,
No comments.
and Building.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
I wanted to point out that all legal and surveyor comments have been met. So is it fine to just send it to me, and then this doesn't have to go back to DRC?
All right.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it would. If it's just that's it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay. MDP 1770 Sheeler Avenue. Looks like you're the man on this.
All
one.
right. So this is a resubmittal for the 7070 Sheeler Avenue MDP, and it consists of 42 lots, and 18 lots are single-family homes, and 24 are duplex lots. And the zoning for that property is a residential two-family, and the future land use is residential low. Applicant and staff are available for comments and questions.
Okay. It looks like the applicant's in attendance. If you have any items to discuss with the DRC.
Good morning, Josh Enot with Kinley Horn, 200 South Orange Avenue, Orlando, Florida. I did get first starting with the Public Works, did get those like right before the meeting, so looked at them very briefly. One of the main questions regarding those comments, are those required for this MDP submittal, or is that more we need these details when we go through the construction drawings?
Okay. They look like construction drawings to me, so I gave you the typical comments.
Okay.
And you're right. There was a lot of things that was not in the package that I would have expected. So.
Correct. So with this being MDP, though, I guess if we make sure that the title block says MD Master Development Plan, make it clear that they're not construction drawings. That should be sufficient, and we'll circle back with all of the required calculations during the CSP process.
Being new to Apopka, I didn't realize there was that much of a difference between the two, because I've seen some MDP plans that look like they're ready to go for construction. The one comment that I will have for you, the water line that you say is in Sheeler,
Yes.
we cannot find it in our records.
Okay.
There's a force main on that side, so.
Right. We'll review that. I think our survey says that there is one there, so we'll have to review with the surveyor, because that's not, obviously we need to connect to a water line, so we'll review that. And then the next question that's I'd say the bigger item is regarding the pond location. I think this was from the police department in conjunction with the planning staff, stating that the pond needs to be along the western side of the property. If we go to the grading plan, as you can see on the site, the western side of the property, right where those three houses are, that's the high side of the site. So we really can't put a pond there. I know previously it was discussed at DRC that this is the high side of the site, and I know when we were going through rezoning, there was a concept plan that showed a pond there. It's just not feasible, and I think we brought this up last time we were at DRC, but that was back in, I want to say, April or May. So I know that takes some time to recall, but instead of putting a pond and putting a buffer there, on this next sheet, oh, it's not touchscreen. No. C5.1. So on here, we did, with working with the police department, the planning department, we got a survey of the gun range right next door, and we're showing building this berm up an additional 16 feet as requested at the previous DRC. And with this berm being so much higher, we're providing that buffer. We're already creating that. So adding a pond there, when the pond would be useless from a stormwater perspective, just isn't feasible, and it isn't feasible for the project as a whole. So I guess how can we go about addressing that comment?
I would have to check to see what the original comment, the concern, what they were for. They weren't made by me, so I'd have to check back with Chief McKinley.
Okay. Yeah, I know Chief McKinley was worried mainly about the safety. Like if there was an errant bullet from the gun range, that it would go over, make sure that it goes over the development and not into somebody's backyard. And so that's all of this grading work that we're providing and berm enhancement on the property.
Is
So
it 16 feet in addition, or is it over and above what it was before?
yes. So currently it's only about 8 feet or 8 to 12 feet. It kind of varies, but we're going to bring it up 16 feet from where it currently is. And it's hard. It might be the resolution on this, but we do show the existing grade and then the proposed grade, and you can see the difference. It's quite substantial.
Okay. I will check with him on that.
Okay.
Thomas.
And we can set up a meeting too to address prior to resubmitting if that makes it easier. Just want to make sure that we're on the same page for the next submittal.
Okay.
And that was all my questions.
I also wanted to mention that according to our transportation element in our comp plan, cul-de-sacs are not permitted. Cul-de-sacs, like the round, like the end of the road.
That's policy 1.42 of the comp plan transportation element. You can't have a cul-de-sac. It says to provide continuous circulation system for pedestrians, bicycles, and automobiles, unconnected streets, cul-de-sacs, T-turnarounds, and dead ends shall be avoided. You'll have to figure out something there. Continuous loop road or something.
Okay, so we can't have a cul-de-sac.
That's in the comp plan.
Okay. It's not like if there's a dead end less than 800 feet.
It says shall. Yeah, you cannot have it.
Okay.
Okay. It sounds like you got the 3 lots over there next to the gun range that are in question anyway. You could kind of loop that road around and work with it that way.
Well, with those 3 lots, I know we discussed it last time that as long as we have this berm and then in that cross section we show that the houses won't be over that the permitted height for the houses, we show that trajectory is nowhere close to that top of the house.
You'll have to figure it out. I mean, you're the designer, we're
Right.
the viewers, so
Right.
Okay. Let's just point out what the codes and comp plans say,
So that would it be okay to have like 150 feet, essentially just like a little stub, or 149 feet, keep it under fire code to have access for those 3 houses right there?
It says cul-de-sacs, T-turnarounds, and dead ends shall be avoided.
Okay. Okay, so no. So then this can only be a loop road.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. No other questions from...
All right. Any further questions or comments on this one? Community development has nothing further. Police?
Nothing further.
All right. Public Works?
If you address my comments, you've got an early review, and the next submittal will be good.
Okay, sounds good.
Fire?
No comments. Thank you.
Building?
I don't have anything. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, the next item is Freshfields Farm Apopka construction site plan. Gene is the project manager.
Good morning. This is the proposed specialty retail store on Armando Borjas Boulevard, and it is proposed to be 17,550 square feet. Now, note this is while it's under a threshold of 25,000 square feet to go to public hearing, it has been determined to undergo both major development plan and construction site plan processes. Now, we gave them the discretion that they can undergo those two processes together, so we will treat this as both plans. I did have some housekeeping comments in under planning and a couple of other items, including a photometric plan that's required. I saw irrigation on there, so I think that would cover public works. I'm not sure if that was okay, but I received additional comments from Public Works yesterday afternoon. So I've reissued the comments letter this morning as soon as I saw it. So that should be noted by the applicant. Other than that, I have no other comments right now other than those that I've outlined in the comment letter.
All right, is the applicant in attendance this morning?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dane Frey with Bowman Consulting, a civil engineer of record representing the client for this project. We did receive a copy of the comments from Planning and Zoning as well as Public Works. Thank you for sending that out. We reviewed them. We have no objections to the housekeeping items. There are a few requests to clarify a number of parkings. We do intend to provide a study for a similar store that justify the needs for the additional parking above code minimum. And the other items, we have no issues addressing those as well. So if you have any questions, please let me know. We're here.
Any questions for the applicant? All right, doesn't sound like any. All right.
I think we did good.
Yeah, I think so. You did a good job, right?
The auto turn was completed, correct? That's
We
I don't
issued the comment. You put the comment on there, so it should be addressed at the next submittal.
the next submittal. Okay,
Yes.
that's what I was looking
Yep.
for. Thank you.
Yeah, it was received. We've since created it, but we haven't provided it yet. We wanted to submit everything else.
All right, thank you.
All right, anything additional? Community Development has nothing further. Police,
No comments?
Public Works.
The ones they gave in writing.
All right. Fire, anything else?
No comments. Thank you.
Building.
I don't have anything, thanks.
All right, thank you. All right, that takes us to discussion. Any items for discussion? All right, we are adjourned.